Otter Creek Milkman on the Uzi in FRT. Shit, hang on a minute. I take it back. That's totally fine without my ears on. All right, Otter Creek Milkman. Let's see how this sounds. I have not heard this can before. Nice quiet can. All right, last but not least, Rico309 on the Uzi, 150 grain subs in FRT. Wow, that first round pop was pretty bad. All right, last but not least is the Rico309 from Exigent Defense. Hey there, it's Matt from 2A Cops. I am out here at the range today to test a bunch of cans. I've got 5 cans out here with me. They're all 9 mil. 2 of them are from Otter Creek Labs, and 2 of them are from Exigent Defense, and the last one, but not least, is from Yankee Hill. The Yankee Hill can is actually all of them but one are my personal cans. The Otter Creek Milkman is being loaned to us by a customer at the store. The reason I'm doing this video is 2 of these cans are pretty new. One of them is brand new. The Otter Creek Labs Milkman is been out for a couple months, and we have not had a chance to shoot it at the store, so this will be the first try with that can. And then the Exigent Defense Rico309 is again a brand new can. It literally just landed in the store 2 days ago. Once I have empty mags, I'm going to start running some 147s. I've got a bunch of 147s. I've got some 150 subs and some 158 subs. So I'm going to try and run a little bit of each through all the cans, and I've got multiple platforms out here to run them on as well. I've got 2 roller delayed guns, Springfield Kuna, and a actual HK SP5, so the semi-auto legal version of the MP5. And then I have 2 direct blowback guns. One of them is an Uzi, and for YouTube moderators, this is a Uzi equipped with an FRT. This is not a full auto gun. It is an FRT equipped gun, force reset trigger. And then I also have a CZ Scorpion. So I got 2 direct blowback guns that function similarly but different. And then I have 2 roller delayed guns that also function similarly but different. Unfortunately, I will not be able to run the Milkman on the Kuna because the Milkman is too large in diameter to fit inside the handguard. So, with all that said, start shooting guns. Okay, got some mags loaded up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one gun, put 5 rounds through each suppressor, change out the suppressor, come back with the same gun, so that way I can run them back to back and kind of get an idea how they sound on the same platform. First gun up is going to be the MP5. This probably is going to be the quietest gun out here just because of the roller delay system in the MP5. Can-wise, I'm going to start with the Yankee Hill R9. I will move on to the Otter Creek Lithium. From there, I will go to the... I'm going to switch this order up real quick here. From there, after the Lithium, I'm going to go to the Exigent Defense Pointman, then to the Otter Creek Milkman, and then to the Exigent Defense Rico309. I'm kind of doing these in the order that the cans came out, or at least that I acquired them. The Yankee Hill R9 was my first suppressor. I will tell you right now, it's probably going to be, I guarantee it's going to be louder. I have that can has been abused. I've run it on everything. It didn't get cleaned for a very long time, and it's even suffered a end cap strike, which has been repaired. So that can is beat, but it still works. So it is a super durable can and inexpensive. So let's get this thing going here. All right, I've got a mark on the ground here, so I'll be shooting from the same position every time. I'm shooting into just a berm here, so I don't have any noise from steel or anything like that. That way we can maintain as much quiet as possible. This is, like I said earlier, H&K SP5, so I'm going to run each can on this thing, and we'll see how they sound back to back. Let me turn the optic on. Maybe. Well, it would appear the battery in the optic is dead. I'm pretty sure I can hit the berm without an optic. God, that's quiet. Alright, even with this old can, that is pretty dang quiet. So let's go to another quieter can. Alright, same gun, same ammo. This is the Otter Creek Lithium. That's quiet. And again, just to clarify, these are 147s. These are not subs, true subs. They're close, but they're not subs. We are up with the Exigent Defense Milkman 9. All right, Otter Creek Milkman. Let's see how this sounds. I have not heard this can before. Nice quiet can. All right, last but not least is the Rico309 from Exigent Defense. God, that's quiet. Okay, so next up is going to be the Uzi. This is a direct blowback gun. And first off is going to be the Yankee Hill R9. Let me make sure I put this in semi, not into reset mode. All right, here we go. I'm going to throw my ears on. All right, now that I got my ears on, and we're back in reset, or I'm sorry, semi-auto mode. Definitely louder on this gun, to the point where those first 2 rounds had my ears ringing. So, okay, Otter Creek Lithium in semi-auto on the straight blowback Uzi. Definitely quieter. Okay, now we are back up to the Exigent Defense Milkman 9. Definitely quieter than the Yankee Hill R9. I can run that safely without my ears ringing. Okay, Otter Creek Milkman. It's weird. I'm getting kind of an odd, maybe it's a reflection off of the embankment there. All right, and last but not least, on the Uzi is going to be the Rico309. Oh, that's quiet. That's really quiet. Oh, that's quiet. Otter Creek Milkman on the Uzi in FRT. definitely louder than the 309, than the Rico on this gun in rapid fire. Not knocking the can, but noticeably different tone, a little bit higher pitch, and definitely more volume, which is odd because it's only noticeable on that gun. Let me throw them on the Scorpion and see what it does. Okay, CZ Scorpion, starting off with the Yankee Hill R9. Again, not subs, these are 147s. Close to subs, but not quite subs. Let's see how she does. Yeah, I'm gonna go with not quite hearing safe. Sounds awesome when I have my ears on. Okay, Otter Creek Lithium on the Scorpion. Borderline hearing safe probably with that. Exigent Defense Pointman 9 on the Scorpion. Definitely a little bit better sound suppression on the 147s out of this direct blowback gun than the other two cans. Let's see how the other cans continue to do. Okay, Otter Creek Milkman on the CZ Scorpion. Not bad, not bad. And last but not least, the Rico309 from Exigent 3 Offense on the CZ Scorpion. From Exigent 3 Offense, from Exigent 3 Offense, Exigent 3 Offense, Exigent 3 Offense. Okay, last gun I'm going to try these all on is going to be my Springfield Kuna here. These are, again, 147s. Starting off with the Yankee Hill R9. Sadly, I am not going to be able to run the Milkman on here, and I will show you why after I pull this can off when I'm done shooting it. Shit, hang on a minute. I take it back. That's totally fine without my ears on. Let me show you what the problem is with the Milkman, and it's not a problem, it's a problem for this gun and why I can't run it on it. I have this extended handguard from Sky Weapon Systems, which my can is recessed into. This, unfortunately, is too big in diameter to fit in this handguard, so I will not be able to test the Milkman on the Kuna. I thought about taking the handguard off. It's just too much work just to test one can. All right, Otter Creek Lithium 9 on the Kuna. Wow, that first round pop was pretty bad. Noticeably louder on that first round than on the consecutive 4 following. Okay, and now we are up to the Exigent Defense Pointman 9 on the Springfield Kuna. Little bit of noticeable first round pop there. Not as bad as the Lithium. I had my ears on for the Yankee Hill R9, so I can't say if that one had it or not. Okay, last but not least, because I had to skip the Milkman, is the Rico309 from Exigent Defense on the Springfield Kuna. Don't get me wrong, because I love the Pointman, but the Rico309 is definitely going to replace that can on this gun as my backpack gun for multiple reasons, which I will get into later. Shit, hang on a minute. Wow, that first round pop was pretty bad. Okay, I've got some 150 grain subsonics here, and because I don't have a ton of them, I'm going to bypass the Yankee Hill R9. What did I put on here? Otter Creek Lithium with 150 grain subs. That sounds good. Exigent Defense, Milkman 9, 150 grain subs. Okay, Otter Milkman, 150 grain subs. Noticeable first round pop there. After that first round, nice and quiet. And last but not least, the Rico309 from Exigent Defense, 150 grain subs. So hopefully you'll be able to pick that up on camera. Sound volume-wise, between these two cans, identical, except for that first round. That first round out of the Milkman, there was noticeable first round pop, which is odd because I didn't get it out of either the Lithium or the Milkman or the Rico. So the only can I noticed it with subs was the Milkman. After that first round though, Milkman sounds awesome. Okay, we are back with the Uzi in FRT mode. I'm going to run a 5-round burst out of each can. Starting off here with the Otter Lithium 9. Okay, we are Milkman 9 with 150 grain subs in FRT mode. Okay, Otter Milkman, 150 grain subs, FRT on the Uzi. All right, last but not least, Rico309 on the Uzi, 150 grain subs in FRT. Okay, we're back to the MP5, back to the Otter Lithium. I am running 158 grain subs now, so these should potentially be even quieter than the 150s. Just because I think the 150s kind of, depending on the round, I think they're bordering on subs. But to be honest, I've never even shot a box of this 158. I've had this stuff for years. So let's see how it does. All right, I did notice first round pop on that one. I don't recall hearing that earlier. Those are definitely quiet. Okay, Exigent Defense Milkman 9. Let's see how she does with the 158s. It's pretty damn quiet. No first round pop. No noticeable first round pop there. Okay, back with the Milkman. 158 grain subs. It's Fiocchi ammo. And on the MP5 or SP5. Totally different tone from the other cans. Very quiet, and I did not notice any first round pop that time. All right, and finally we are back to the Rico309, 158 grain subs on the MP5, SP5, sorry. A noticeable difference in tone between it and the Milkman with these 158s. I didn't notice that tone difference with 150s, which is odd. Okay, let's go to straight blowback now. MP5 roller delayed, quieter in general than a straight blowback gun. The CZ Scorpion is straight blowback. I've got the same 158 grain Fiocchi subsonics in here, starting off with the Otter Lithium. That is noticeably louder on this gun than it is on the MP5 or the SP5. Let's see how the Milkman 9 from Exigent Defense does. Same 158s, same Scorpion. Still a little bit louder, or I should say still noticeably louder than the MP5. Different tone than the Lithium. Okay, let's see how the Milkman does. 158 grain Fiocchis out of the Scorpion. Again, noticeably louder. And last but not least, Rico309 on the Scorpion with 158 subs. don't notice a lot of difference between this and the Milkman. I didn't notice any first round pop. That's the one thing I have noticed once or twice on the Milkman. I have not noticed it on this gun or this can at all. Sound volume wise, I think they're identical. So that's the end of the back-to-back comparison here. Let's take it back to the studio and talk about them some more. Before we get into the specifics on these cans, I do need to thank my channel sponsors. Boise Black Rifle, you can see the shirt here. This is the longest running channel sponsor I have here at 2A Cops. Today's testing was most of the ammo was provided by them for today's testing, and several of the guns are store guns. The Uzi and the MP5 are belong to the store. So thank you for loaning me the guns. Thank you for supplying some of this ammo. Huge thanks to Boise Black Rifle. Big thank you to Aegis Gun Care for supplying all the lube and cleaning products that I use here on the channel. So your gun that you get from Boise Black Rifle, if it's a Boise Black Rifle product, comes pre-lubed with Aegis Gun Care products. So their lube is on every single one of those guns that I put together. So big thank you to Aegis Gun Care. Speaking of suppressors, like I'm testing here, they've got their new suppressor cleaner. Take a look at it. I did a video on it. If you want to take a look at that video, you can find the link to it right over there. And last but not least is Wasson Watch Company. Wasson Watch Company is an American veteran-owned company. They are as pro-gun, pro-America as I am. Wasson Watch Company is the watch company that knows what time it is. If you are looking for a very nice watch, they've got an automatic field watch, they've got an automatic dive watch, and about to be released, they're taking orders now, is the 250th anniversary of America watch that they've produced, available in 3 different face colors and 2 different movements. You can get it either as a quartz or an automatic. The quartz is cheaper at $317.76 currently, or the automatic is $517.76. What's that, 1776? I don't know, maybe it has some sort of significance to the 250th anniversary of the United States. Any of those watches, if you use the discount code 2ACOPS at checkout, it will save you an additional 10% off even their sale price. So get in there, get a gorgeous watch, support an American company, and save yourself some money. All right, let's get into these cans and see what we were shooting today. I took out 5 cans today to kind of test them back and forth against each other. One of them is not really, it's an older can. I threw it in there as a benchmark, I guess. It's the first can I ever bought. It's a Yankee Hill R9. So let's talk about it. The Yankee Hill R9 is a 17-4 stainless. It is a 9mm can designed for 9mm, hence the name R9. There's no barrel restrictions in 9mm. You can run it on 300 black up to 7.5 inch barrel. I'm sorry, 7.5 inch and longer barrels. 5.56, 6.5 Grendel, or 308. You can run it on anything with a 16-inch barrel or longer. So it's kind of a universal dual can. It's pretty durable. I've had this thing. I have abused the snot out of this thing. Good, inexpensive can. The Yankee Hill is 5.5 inches long, 1.56 inches in diameter, and it weighs 11 ounces. It's kind of heavy, but it is thick stainless, which makes it pretty durable. Next can in the mix is going to be the Otter Creek Lithium. This is a titanium, grade 5 titanium can. Traditional welded baffle stack design, not a flow-through can at all. 9mm has no barrel restrictions. 300 black subs, no restrictions. 300 black supers, 7 inches or longer on the barrel. 5.56, they want a 16-inch barrel and a slow rate of fire. And 308, it says bolt gun, or very slow rate of fire, and a 20-inch barrel for 308. This is a 9mm can. 9mm 300 black. I wouldn't run it on anything else personally. Moving on from there, I have the Exigent Defense Pointman 9. This is a pretty universal can as well. It is a can that is made out of Inconel. It's the only Inconel can in the mix here. It is 9mm, no barrel restrictions. 300 black supers, you can run it on anything 7 inches or longer. 5.56, they want a 10.3 barrel, or 308, a 14.5. That is pretty universal. I've heard it does very well on AKs in 7.62x39. I've not tried it. I have run this on 300 black and it works fantastic. Also works very well in 9. It is a longer, heavier can though, so let's talk about that real quick because I forgot to mention that. It is 12.9 ounces with no mount in it, and I'm running a Yankee Hill tri-lug in here, which is a heavy tri-lug. So this can, as it sits, is pretty heavy. It's 7 inches long and 1.5 inches in diameter. The nice thing about that 1.5 inch diameter is on guns like my Springfield Kuna here, it has absolutely no problem fitting in recessed into the large diameter handguard there. So that was the Exigent Defense Point Man. The Otter Creek Milkman. This thing is stupid light. It's made out of grade 5 titanium. It weighs 8.8 ounces with no mount. This tri-lug mount that's in this is from Rugged Suppressors. It is a very lightweight tri-lug mount, unlike the spring-loaded ones that I have on the other 3 cans I showed you. This one tightens down by twisting it. It's threaded. It is, again, this is not my can. We borrowed it from a customer, but ironically, I have the same exact tri-lug in the Rico. Very cool mount. I like it a lot. It's a little more secure than the spring-loaded one, and I had absolutely no issues with either of these cans today going on or taking them off. Sorry, sidetrack there on the mount. The Milkman is considerably fatter than every other can here. It is 2 inches in diameter in the large portion here, and then down here on the skinny part, it's 1.5 inches in diameter. The majority of the can is going to be 2 inches in diameter, though. It is 6 inches long. I already said it weighs 8.8 ounces. This is a 9mm only can or 300 black subs only. No supers, no 5.56, no 308. Relegate this thing to 9mm or 300 subs. All right, and then the last can in the mix is the Rico309 from Exigent Defense. This is their brand new can. It just dropped this week. We got our first shipment in on Tuesday. This is the first can out of the batch. In fact, this is serial number 2. This can weighs 9 ounces, so 0.2 ounces heavier than this, which I weighed these cans, the Milkman and this, I weighed them with the mounts in them. The Milkman was 10.9 ounces with the mount. The Rico was 11.1 ounces with the mount. So that 0.2 of an ounce weight difference in the cans is 100% accurate. The Rico309 is rated for 9mm with no barrel restrictions. 300 black subs, run 7-inch or longer barrel. This is not rated for anything beyond that. I take it back. I'm sorry. 8.6 and 338 ARC are an 8-inch barrel, and those are both subs as well. No supers through this can. It is a titanium 3D printed can. So let's talk about how all this stuff performed out there. Let's talk about the ammo we were using today too, real quick. Most of the shooting was done with PMC bronze 147 grain. It's not advertised as subsonics. It is close to subsonics, so they're pretty quiet. Beyond that, I was running, when I was jumped into the subs, I was running a bunch of 150 grain S&B subsonics, and then I was running some Fiocchi 158 grain subsonics. So that's the ammo we ran out there today. Let's start with the Yankee Hill R9. It performed as I expected. Not the quietest can out there. It does do a good job, especially when you put subs in it. It actually is a reasonable can. It does not do as good a job with supers. So the 147s, like when I run 115s through it, it's pretty loud. It also varied quite a bit depending on which platform we were running. So I ran 4 platforms, as you saw. 2 of those were roller delayed and 2 of those are straight blowback. So why does that matter? So a roller delay system like what's built into the Kuna here delays the opening of the bolt so that the bullet is able to get further down the barrel, closer to exiting before the bolt actually opens up. That helps keep your can quiet. On a straight blowback gun, like on the CZ Scorpion here, the round goes off, the bolt is already starting to open as the bullet is going down the barrel. So before the bullet exits the barrel, your bolt is open, and so it's letting some of that explosion from the round going off exit out of the ejection port. So direct blowback guns are not as quiet as roller delayed guns. And I will say this, as much as I love my Kuna, it is not as quiet as the MP5. The MP5 with a can on it was stupid quiet. All right, so how did these do? The R9 did a decent job. It's not by any means the star performer here. It was thrown in there as a low-priced alternative. If you're running subs, it's going to be a decent can. If you want to run supers, it'll handle it. It's just not going to make them quiet. So that one's there. The lithium is a quiet can, especially if you're running subs or close to subs. It's very quiet. It does have some first round pop issues. I noticed that a couple of times today when I'm shooting. The other thing is if you're running a high rate of fire, this straight welded baffle stack traditional design is going to start pumping a bunch of gas back out of your gun into your face, especially if you're a lefty. I'm not, thank God. Not thank God because I hate lefties, but thank God because I don't want the ejection port right in my face while I'm shooting. The Exigent Defense Pointman 9 did very well. It is not a flow-through design per se, but it does flow better than the lithium. Noise-wise, it is as quiet or quieter than the lithium. Does very well with everything I've put through it. Like I said, I've run 300 black through this thing as well. It is a fairly quiet can. I mean, obviously I'll let you guys decide as to what you think was the quietest can. You've seen them all running back to back, so you got an idea of how they sounded. I'm still very impressed by the Pointman. So the Pointman did very well, at least in my opinion. And then let's jump into the Otter Creek Milkman. I like this can. When it first showed up at the store, I was pretty impressed with it. I was blown away by how light this can is. Today was the first time I've shot one. Very quiet can. I would say it is on par to be one of the quietest cans that I compared here, especially when I was running well, anything, 147s, 150 subs, 158 subs. Very quiet can. That said, it does have some first round pop issues. Every can is going to have first round pop issues, but this one was significantly louder on that first round than every subsequent round following. So the first round pop from this can was pretty loud, and that was on, didn't matter what platform I was on, or whether it was a roller delayed or straight blowback. Last but not least is the Rico309 from Exigent Defense. Out of this group here, it's my favorite, and only for one reason over the Otter Creek, well, for two reasons. I experienced almost no issues with first round pop with the Rico. The Milkman, I mentioned, it did have some first round pop issues. My only other complaint about the Milkman, besides I'm a cheap bastard, this one's a little bit less expensive than the Rico is. My only problem with the Milkman is it isn't going to work for me on some of my guns because of that large diameter. If you weren't running like an SD style handguard there where you want your can to fit underneath it, absolutely nothing wrong with the Milkman. I like it. I like Otter Creek's products. The Rico, for me, is just the easy winner because it does fit within my handguard. It's no different overall size, minimally different overall size from the Pointman that used to live on here, but the weight difference is significant. In terms of pricing, everything here is very similar in price, other than the Yankee Hill R9. It's by far a couple $100 cheaper than everything else here on the table. Everything else is within $75 to $100 of each other, so they're all within that $750 to $900 price range. The decision for you is going to come down to which can you like better, what you're going to be doing with it more. If you're going to be running nothing but 9mm through it, any of these cans are going to work for you. If you're going to run 300 subs, any of these cans are going to work for you. If you want to run supers, the Rico and the Milkman are out of it. The lithium is out of it, and then you're down to either the Pointman or the R9. If you plan on running the one can on just about every gun you have, there are basically two options here, and that's going to be the Pointman or the R9. The other ones are going to be more of a dedicated either 300 black sub or a 9mm can. And in that case, in that role, they are fantastic. Stop talking, Matt. Just shoot. Aegis gun care products. So your gun comes out of the box ready to shoot, lubed, but with. So from this point on, excuse me while I kill this bee if I can. Get away from me. One of which, and they've got, and coming very soon at the end of June is when they're going to be shipping. Is their. Okay, we are back to the Uzi. Jesus. What's up, Pepper? Good girl. You want to come over here and be on camera? Hello, hello. Look, here's my Pepper dog. Hello, Pepper. Hi, Pepper. Who's over there? Pepper, who's over there?